call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block this, you may begin speaking now.
Hey, Joe.
I am so sorry, man.
No, you're
I
good.
know. By the time you get everything done for the computers, and then you got to wait 15 minutes to get on the phone, then you got to stand in line to get a phone.
No, you're good, man. I promise.
Is this good for you, or you need me to call you back?
No, this is perfect.
Okay. All right.
How you doing?
Okay. The prison rules are: you can put me on speaker, you can put me on live, you can record. You just can't put me on a three-way call. So I don't know how your thing is set up, but I can't talk to anybody but you.
Okay, we're all in the same room.
On speaker.
Okay.
So we're on a podcast called Where Are We Going? And we do have a couple of questions for you. And
Hey, you can ask me anything you want.
awesome. Do you want to start?
I would love to start.
Okay.
Hi, Joe. My name is
Hey,
Heather.
how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It is a pleasure to speak with you today. I can't
Well-
tell you how excited I am to be able to talk to you.
I appreciate you giving me a voice.
Absolutely. And that's why my question, I feel, is really important, because I heard that you were working towards running for president. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
Got a
that's my
full-blown
question.
website.
Go ahead.
I got a full-blown website, joeexotic2024.com. It's got my platform on there. The team that's out there helping me emails me the questions that different people have. I answer everybody's questions. So there's a question and answer place on that website supposed to be. And yeah, it's time that.
So what prompted you? That's my question. What prompted you? I know we have a lot going on in this current world stage, and as Americans, we are facing a lot of challenges we haven't faced in decades, as you and I both know. So what prompted you to do this? What are you looking to help us out with here?
Okay, well, there's a multiple reasons that I'm doing this. One is, obviously, the justice system is extremely corrupt. We have two systems, one for the rich and one for the poor.
Absolutely.
Word.
I would never have believed what I've seen if I wasn't put in here to see what I've seen. Okay, there's so many underprivileged families split up because the system isn't fair to them, because they can't afford real lawyers.
Nope.
Okay.
It's designed to.
And they're blackmailed into plea bargaining, because if you ask for a fair trial, which the Constitution allows you to have, they supersede your indictment with more charges, and they punish you for asking for a trial. So there's probably close to 30,000 people that are in prison on just nonviolent petty drug crimes.
Yes.
That need to go home. Okay?
You're
They've
absolutely
served 3 to
correct.
5 years. They don't need to be here for 10 or 15 years. They never hurt nobody.
That's
Yeah.
a
They just couldn't
fact.
afford a lawyer.
That's a fact, Joe. This
Yeah.
is we've proven
Go
that
ahead.
it's a thank you. We've proven it's a financial benefit to those who own these prisons to have people there, and you're shedding light on that.
Hey, I do. If it wouldn't been for them arresting me and keeping me without bond, keeping me in solitary confinement for over 2 years, so I couldn't
Wow.
communicate with anybody, I couldn't hire a lawyer, I couldn't work to make any money to hire a lawyer.
Wow.
I would never have believed this. Okay, but now that I've been here 5 years, and
This call is from a federal prison.
last month was a year that we have filed a motion for a new trial with over 1,000 pages of new evidence, and the judge still hasn't ruled on it.
Oh, Joe.
These people have no bosses, okay?
Yeah.
But now that I've been to 7 different facilities, they're all the same. They're $250,000 a month is made in the commissary alone, and everybody out there in the world, the politicians all have their hand in the cookie jar. They all have an interest in TV, Unicor. Hell, in Prison Legal News, they did an article here a while back. $1 million for a pallet of Snickers bars. Okay,
Wow.
this is the closest thing to legalized human trafficking that you're ever going to get.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You said-
Absolutely.
You've painted a picture there.
And then another reason why I really did this, I'm engaged to an extremely awesome young man in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I have a 4-year-old stepson now, and
congrats!
At the rate we're going, when he's 20 years old, I can't even imagine what this world's going to be like.
Oh God!
If we don't stand up and change this.
You're right.
Hell, you can't go to school. You can't go to the mall. You can't go to a movie theater without the risk of being killed nowadays.
Yes,
exactly.
But it's the why are we not addressing our own culture problems before we take care of the rest of the world's culture?
Thank you.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I'm extremely against. The $1.3 billion that we sent to Pakistan for gender identity. Now we got $111 billion to Ukraine. We sent several $1 billion to everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nuts that we cut our Social Security and our old people that have paid that in all their life, but we can still keep giving all this shit for free to everybody else's problems. And it has to stop. And it has to be somebody that's not politically motivated and financially born with a gold spoon in their mouth to stand up. But you know what? They can't hurt me any more than they've already hurt me. I've lost everything. I've lost my parents. I've lost 55 years of hard work. I'm going to say what you are scared to say. Because in today's world, if you stand up, you can say whatever you want about Andrew Tate. You can say whatever you want about Donald Trump. Yeah, everybody that has a voice are being punished right now.
Yes.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
So I'm going to speak for the several million that are scared to stand up and speak.
So you want to be a voice for the voiceless.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that, Joe. Thank you for showing up for the American people. And I'm going to pass the second question off to our other host who you just spoke with, Magnus.
So I know you started to delve into this a little bit, but could you explain to us a little more about what you've been going through the different prisons you've been to? Like, I know the treatment hasn't been great at all.
Pardon? No, what was that last part?
I know the treatment hasn't been good for you at all. Like, I've seen.
Oh, hey, it started out. I was literally kidnapped by my own country,
right?
And to this day, I still say that I'm a political prisoner for the Big Cat Safety Act.
Right.
Because they even nicknamed it the Tiger King Bill. Okay, but here's how my journey went. Okay, I spent almost 2.5 years in solitary confinement, sleeping on shit, concrete floors with urine and feces and blood.
Oh my God!
And Grady County Jail, to the point that I contracted hepatitis A.
Oh, Joe.
Okay?
Oh my God!
And then finally, I got moved to a federal facility, and I was kept the first 89 days in solitary confinement there, and 11 months up in a warehouse area of top of the hospital.
Wow.
Because they just didn't want me talking to anybody. Because we were still appealing everything, okay? But when I was at Grady County, the worst part about being at Grady County was, I put bloody pictures all over the internet of my wrist and my arms.
Yes, I saw those.
Yeah, because the 8
This call is from a federal prison.
guards beat me up and tied me naked and put me in a chair and tied me in a chair in a shower for so long that the skin came off of my arms.
Oh, Joe.
Man.
Okay. And then when they let me out to shower one day, I got a hold of the video machine on the phone, that you can video visit your family, and they snapped pictures of my arms. And then I contract cancer. I come down with cancer.
Right.
And they moved me to Butner, North Carolina, and going through cancer treatment, being locked behind a door with no TV, no nothing, it is as cruel as it can get.
Inhumane.
People out in the world, you know, you have your families, you have your animals, you're at home, you're still it's still stressed out dealing with a terminal disease. You ought to imagine being in solitary confinement with nothing for a year, fighting cancer, going through chemo and radiation and Lupron and vomiting every day for 7 months. So I made it through that, and then I begged to come back here to the Fort Worth Medical Center here, because here I have a little more freedom. It's like a college campus, really. There's no doors, there's no bars. It's big giant dorm rooms. The atmosphere out, you know, in the compound is beautiful. It's landscape, but it's still. If you've seen the videos of Alan admitting to perjury and a plot to kill me, and Jeff Lowe and James all admitting to perjury, why the hell am I still here?
Right.
Why am I here?
We are all
because I'm here because the government doesn't want to admit they were wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But never mind, your life gets to be destroyed in the process.
You know, the sad part is we can trade a dangerous arms dealer for a basketball star in Russia.
Yeah.
That broke the law no different than the 15,000 people in federal prison for buying marijuana in Colorado and driving to Kansas or Wyoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, President Biden just completely forgot that the woman got on an airplane, flew across state lines, flew across international lines with the same thing that he's holding people wrongfully detained in America for.
Exactly.
It's just that this country is so ass backwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurd. We are living in an age of absurdity at this point, I believe.
But you know what makes people mental and what drives people to these mass murders and everything else?
What's that?
I don't know where you're located, but I listen to WBAP here in Fort Worth on the radio 24/7 because that's the only news source I have, because I don't get to watch TV in prison because I'm gay.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Why?
So
Why?
you know,
Hold on. Why?
Because the government, the BOP allows the gangs to run the prisons. The prison doesn't run the prisons. The gangs run the prison. And because I'm gay, I don't get the same rights as they do. So that's why I really don't stick up a whole lot for the LGBT community out in the world, because they're not
sticking up for you.
Hey, they don't do anything for the transgenders in prison that are severely being abused.
No.
Right.
Okay. Wait, there needs to be more representation for that. I'm glad you brought that up.
There is none. Absolutely none. There's a couple transgenders here that have to have escorts everywhere they go because they're so abused.
Oh my God.
Thank you for shedding light on that, because those are things that average American citizens don't hear. They don't get to know that that's going on also. And even people who are allies don't know.
The problem is because you got people on the radio like Dan Bongino and Chris Crock and Casey Bartholomew all day long that do nothing. They bitched about transgenders for 3 damn years every day. Okay, and then they got the attitude that if you're in prison, you deserve to be treated like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
because you're a criminal.
Oh, that's
Well, unfortunately, we're not all criminals. Okay, some of us are innocent, and some of us spend 30 years proving that.
right. And some people do things that are mistakes or certain circumstantial situations. That doesn't mean that you're this horrific person that deserves to be abused either. So
half of everybody in here is in here for white collar crimes or doing nonviolent drug crimes.
Right.
No different than the 200 million out there that just haven't been caught.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But what I need everybody that hears this. I don't care if you vote for me. I don't care if you like me or if you hate me. Okay? What I need you to do is I need you to spread my voice and spread this message. Okay? Because numbers scare politicians.
Yes.
Right? And we have to have a voice until election time. Then you can vote for whoever the hell you want.
You're absolutely
But for right now, right now we have to expose what's really going on. This
Right.
is going to hang up in about 20 minutes. So I want to tell all of you thank you for giving me a platform. I would love to talk to you again if you ever decide to have me on, because there's some real issues in this country that need addressed.
And
Absolutely.
and if we can, we would love to. You have really brought some great things to light, Joe, and we wish you the best. And
Oh,
well, that's that. Our call is ended, and my heart is on the freaking table in pieces right now.
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Poor Joe.
I kind of need a moment, I think. Wow.
It's fucking awful.
He really did shed light on things that we don't see because we don't live within the confines of facility for criminals, or jails, prisons, etc., whatever. So we are blind to all of that. But then when you hear it, his story is not unique. We've heard this from other people. We know this happens in our country. We know it's been a problem for many years. That's why, a lot of times, I remember my dad used to be so angry about any person of color who would vote for Bill Clinton, because he said, don't you correlate Clinton correctional facilities with what they've done to your race, because they've profited off of jailing people of color for so long. How could you vote for the Clinton family in any way? Because these private prisons that are run and by these, financially and politically elite are doing nothing but benefiting their bank accounts at the expense of millions of lives of Americans, guilty or not, for what they've done. And the sad truth is, if you know anybody who's ever experienced a situation like this, ever been convicted of a felony or something, I have friends, I have family members who have. And when you look at the structure of the way that the hoops they have to jump through, the measures they have to meet, the marks they have to meet, the money and fines they have to pay to stay out of jail, to try to satisfy whatever the sentencing is or whatever, is nearly impossible for someone in their situation, because they can't come back into civilian life and get a job and have money coming in and handle these things and have transportation, reliable things, good mental health, and go to all these meetings and be clean and do all the things they're supposed to be doing to stay out of trouble. And it's set up to make them fail and go right back into prison, and boom, more money, more money, more money.
Right.
You follow the money, Magnus. I've told you this, and your sisters, when you were growing up, every time you look at the corrupt stuff that's going on in our country, or anything you have a question mark about, follow the money trail. You'll figure it out. That'll tell you everything you need to know. And I'm going to step off my soapbox and let you all talk, because I'm fired up.
I thought it was interesting what he was talking about with the LGBT community. Like, it makes sense as to why he wouldn't be outwardly supportive, because nobody supported him. Like, nobody cared about him.
And if he's vocal about that, he's just painting a target on himself. And he's already got one of those.
Right.
Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows he's gay. If he starts verbalizing his support, they're obviously not happy that he's there and gay.
Yeah.
So
and why would he? They aren't, the LGBTQ community isn't coming to help him. They aren't rescuing him. They aren't helping him there. They aren't representing him, defending him, filing lawsuits, human rights lawsuits against what's happening to him there. No one's stepping in to help him. So he doesn't support it. And how can you blame him?
I don't blame him at all.
Like, that makes me kind of sick to my stomach.
Yeah. It's awful.
And the treatment of transgender people that he brought up, I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
And when my head started going down that rabbit hole, and I don't want to do that right now, but the thought of the treatment of trans people
Mhm,
in American prisons
mhm.
makes me feel this feeling of horror
Mhm.
hmm
inside. And
Well, and think about it. He didn't share anything explicitly, but thinking about what they put him through just for being gay.
yeah. And
Imagine
he's not
what they're
even
putting
trans,
trans people
but he's
through.
Oh,
witnessing it.
100%.
Yeah.
And the trans people who he's seeing are trans women.
Yes.
Yes.
We all know they make jokes, prison jokes about
Trans
cis
women.
men,
Yeah,
Yeah.
let alone trans women.
Right.
And that's horrific. That
Yeah.
really,
It's
it breaks
it's a
my heart,
horrifying
crushes
picture that we were painted today by Mr. Joe
it.
Exotic.
Mhm.
And honestly, I also want to say I came into this with this kind of goofy, happy,
Right.
oh my gosh, I want to talk to Joe Exotic feeling.
Mhm.
And I have left this conversation feeling
Gutted.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but also fired up
Yeah.
because I'm always one to root for the underdog, so to speak, or whatever, but this infuriates me.
He has no support.
No, I feel so bad for him, and I think that he should be able to get his message out as much as he can, and I'm glad we gave him this space to do it,
Yes.
and that it is out there. And if anybody can help him with any of the challenges he's facing, or anyone listening who knows how to help him, I hope that they will reach out to him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
He is in Fort Worth, Texas, he said, in the facility there, to try to help him in some way, or get the ACLU in to help him, or
Mhm.
Human Rights Campaign,
Mhm.
Somebody that can at least look into protections, because while yes, he is the poster child for, like he was saying, for that bill they created
Mhm.
over that whole
The
fiasco.
Tiger King bill.
Right. So they're going to keep him there.
For sure.
So if that's the case, then can't we have some people step up to try to at least make sure that he has some semblance of an existence that isn't torture for
Right.
Yeah.
the remaining years that he's there?
hmm And when he was talking about his son too, it broke my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts?
I just wanted to take a step back and go back to, sorry, I just wanted to take a step back and go back to the prison profiting off of inmates again. It is in the Constitution that slavery has been abolished except
In prison.
in
In
prison.
prison.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you are a criminal and you're put away in prison, you are a slave of this nation.
Yes.
They can make you do whatever they want.
Anything, and they will,
Yep.
and they do.
They make them do. I remember in West Virginia when I was there in my early 20s, I believe my dad's told me that the prisoners make the license plates for the cars in the
Mhm.
state. Like,
Yeah.
and that illustrated that to me of like, oh, so they make them work while they're in prison to do something.
Mhm.
You know, I can see the good and bad in that if you're there and you're going to have to be there, if there's something that you can do that gives you a
Right.
productive kind of thing, that can be good. But I can also see where that could be a very bad situation as well,
Right.
and it'd be abused in the wrong hands.
They
Like,
should be
on paper, it sounds
compensated.
Fine,
fairly.
but
It depends on who's running those
Exactly.
operations and
They
programs.
get paid like 20 cents a day. And it does
It goes to
it's-
their commissary.
goes to their commissary,
Mhm.
so they're making that money back anyways.
Right.
Mhm.
So really they're paying them in like what, a bag of chips
yeah.
Right.
to
Not
make
even.
300 license plates a day?
Right.
And I don't know, it's just It's crazy to me.
Yeah, well, what prison reform and issues like that have been on the table for a very long time. But again, we're going to circle back to what I said earlier with following the money,
Mhm.
and you'll see why nothing has been done about
That's
it.
exactly why nothing has been done about it, because all
Mhm.
these industries are profiting off it. American made
Yep.
usually means inmates have had a
Yep.
hand
Yeah.
in making this for nothing.
Yep.
And that's why they're holding on to it, because
Mhm.
they're profiting so much on it. And yet they'll turn around and charge you more because it's American made or whatever.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Disgusting.
It is.
So, yeah, totally not what I was expecting
Mm-mm.
to feel. You?
No. I wasn't expecting to feel like this, but I think that's good. I don't think we should be expecting Joe to be like, all kooky and funny, like,
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
never
mean-
gonna financially recover from this kind
No,
of shit. Like,
but I mean, that we would even feel that way.
right.
Our feelings are very different. Your
Yeah.
response was, I noticed.
Yeah. It
And
just makes me sad. Like, how can that just happen to somebody? Like, and he has evidence. I've seen the evidence. Like, I've learned about his case, and like, it's not fair. Like, totally unjust. Like,
Yeah,
they're
no
not
justice in
giving
it.
him a chance. They never gave him free trial.
Yeah.
Or yeah, free trial. Or yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and I'm
Yeah.
wow.
I would even love to like do an episode talking about the justice system,
We should do
in
a follow
general.
up to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Let's think
I've-
on it, do a little research, and
Yeah.
then come back. And then let him know, however we can, with messaging, that this is what you've prompted by our conversation with you. And we're going to look into this a little more and be a little more vocal about it,
Mhm.
so other people can hear the same
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
And, that's a ripple effect, maybe. Best we can do, I don't know. But
It'll open some people's eyes. to
But I'm
what's
glad
going
that
on.
yeah, exactly. Oh, but I'm glad that we were here together and we got to talk to him.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to give him his moment to speak, because he hasn't had it,
Mhm.
and how horrific that is that he's been silenced in that way.
I can't even imagine the torture of
and
being in solitary
confined.
solitary confinement. Period is torture.
Mhm.
The
should not
mind
exist.
fuck of being
For 2 years.
and going through cancer treatment
Yeah.
alone.
Mm,
Imagine.
Yeah.
You talk
I
about
can.
being touch starved,
Yeah.
comfort starved, and trying to heal.
That got me,
Me,
because
yeah.
my mom just got through having cancer for the second time.
And imagine
watching
having
her
no
go
one.
through that, thinking that she had nobody around her,
Yes.
nothing, no TV, no radio, just her alone in like a cement room with nothing comforting,
Minimal.
no communication with anybody. That breaks my heart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Talk
the
about-
suffering.
We're not supposed to have cruel and inhumane punishment in our country.
Oh yeah.
I think that qualifies.
That's all a show though. That's words.
Yeah.
They've never I mean, they're still using torture methods. It's just
Tying him to the chair.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's nothing. Well, I mean, with his it was visible, but I'm sure they thought maybe nobody would see it because
Right.
he's been
Mhm.
locked away.
Yeah.
But like even prisoners of war still to this day
yeah.
are tortured in ways they find ways to do it where it's not visible. It's
Yes.
psychological.
Yes.
And that I can't say if I think that's worse or better, but it's fucking awful.
Oh, the
Mm.
That is
psychological
suffering.
warfare is
Suffering. Because you
Yeah.
live with that the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sure you also live with that if it's physical, but I
Well,
still
because
feel
there's
like
the
the
psychological
too.
component is secondary to the physical.
Right.
Can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going? Where you taking this trip to?
Wait,
Don't move, don't take to.
I can't keep on losing you.
Where the hell you going?
Wait, obligations. Gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang, the people that know me best, the key that I won't forget. Too soon, I can't keep on losing you.
Thank you so much for listening. But wait, we can't go before we acknowledge the very, very generous talents
Of some really talented individuals, namely, first off, Gentlemanly Jake. We want to thank you for working on our sound production and hardware configuration and getting us up and running. And Rowan?
Mixmaster Ben at the ready with our music, sound design, and editing, and all those podcast productions.
We really couldn't have done it without you guys. Really.
No.
We really couldn't have.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, I told Jake, I looked at all the chords and my brain melted, so...
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
I can't
for
even
being
untangle
here.
a necklace without losing my mind.
Yeah.
Thank you to you too, our listeners. This is amazing. The support is helpful. Even just listening is helpful to all of us.
And the feedback. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're glad you guys are enjoying it. And hope we'll be bringing some more as soon as we can.
I hope so too.
We treasure you.
Yes.